Hi, I am Rizal Manuel. I am the reporter of Rizal Exile Trial and Death, Chapter 24, The Last Homecoming in Trial. Introduction 1896, the last homecoming of Rizal's in the saddest return to his beloved native land. He knew that he will be facing the supreme test, the sacrifice of his life, but he is unafraid. He welcomed it gladly that he is sure that his blood will water the seeds of Filipino freedom. A martyr's last homecoming. Rizal homecoming in 1896, the last in his life, was his sudden return to his beloved native land. So, this is the time that this is the last in his life. So, saddest end to his life, to his beloved native land. He knew he was facing the supreme test, which might mean the sacrifice of his life, but he was unafraid. So, hindi siya natakot. Alam niyang magpe-face siya sa kanyang supreme test, but hindi siya natakot at sacrifice niya ang kanyang buhay. October 6, 1896, Rizal continuously recorded the events in his diary. He was given a good Kevin in the scrod class, and although strict regarded, he was courteously treated by the army officers. The officers on duty seems amiable, refined and polite, consistent with his seriousness of his duty. October 8, a friendly officer told Rizal that Madrid newspapers were full of stories about the bad revolution in the Philippines and were blaming him for it. He wrote in his diary on the same date, October 8. I believe that what God is doing to me is a blessing. So, Rizal said this, allowing me to go back to the Philippines in order to be able to destroy such accusations. So, bumalik siya sa Pilipinas kasi para daw mas 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 mapaliwanagan kung ano ba ang mga accusation sa kanya. Kumbaga puputulin niya. Because either they do me justice and recognize my innocence, and when I be rehabilitated on, they sentence me to death, and thereby before the eyes so of society will forgive me and live without any doubt. Justice will be done me, and I will be more martyr. At any rate, instead of dying abroad or in Managua, jungle in Cuba, I'll die in my own country. I believe that what is happening is the best that can happen to me. So, naniniwala siya na kung ano man mangyari sa kanya ay para sa iya ay best na ito. Let God will be done. I feel more calm with regard to my funeral, feel that all the peace has descended upon me. Thank God, thou art my hope and consolations. Let your will be condemned or absolved. I am happy and ready. Confiscation of Rizal's diary. It was known to Spanish authorities aboard the column that Rizal was keeping track of the daily events in his diary. October 11, before reaching port, said Rizal's diary was taken and was critically scrutinized by the authorities. November 2, the diary was returned to him. Unsuccessfully rescued in Singapore, news of Rizal predicament reached his friends in Europe and in Singapore. From London, the quaternary gathered and seeks to Lopez, the Spanish frantic telegrams to English lawyers in Singapore named Hagford to rescue Rizal was the Spanish steamer with its reached Singapore by means of a writ of habeas corpus. Attorney Ford instituted proceedings at the Singapore court for the removal of Rizal from the steamer. The crux of Mr. Ford's legal contention was the Rizal were illegally detained on a Spanish steamer. Chief Justice Luen Cos declined writ in ground that Golan was the carrying Spanish troops to the Philippines. Hence, it was the worship of foreign power under the international law beyond the jurisdiction of the Singapore authorities. So, arrival in Manila, November 3. So, dumating siya sa Manila, November 3. The colon reached Manila. And it was transferred in Fort Santiago. Meanwhile, the Spanish authorities faced sure evidence against Rizal. Many Filipinos were accused, including Dieta Arellano, Dr. Fiorello Presentuela, Moises Salvador, Jose Dizon, Doroteo Franco, De Timoteo Pez, and Pedro Serrano Lactao were brutally tortured and Bilikit Rizal. Rizal's own brother Fasciano was arrested and cruelly tortured by their never sent a damaging statement incriminating Rizal. Although their body was shattered on the torture rack and his left hand crushed by the crew, the valiant Asian spirit remained unbroken. So preliminary investigation number 20, the preliminary investigation began. This is accused appeared before the judge advocate Colonel Francisco Lee, who was subjecting a cruel 5-day investigation. So two kinds of evidence are sent against Rizal, namely a documentary, testimonial. So that in documentary have 15. So this is the 1, 2, 3, 15. So in Kundiman, in the forest beautiful where the sun burned in a land of beauty full of enchantment, but the found in chains where the restored rains, the land that dearest to me. This is country. She slave and freeze groaning in the tyrant's scripts. Lucky shall be who give her liberty. In the similar evidence consisted of oral and martyr constanta against Del Rosario, si Rizal, si Amador, si Domingo Fidato, Rizal Quezon, and Timoteo Faes. After the preliminary investigation, Colonel Lee transmit the records of the case of Governor General Ramon Blanco and the later offenders Rodriguez, special judge advocate, instituted the corresponding action against Rizal. Dominguez made a verification of the charges and returned the papers. Governor General Blanco, who was their fan, transmitted to the judge advocate Don Nicolas de la Pena for an opinion. After studying the papers, Peña submitted the following recommendation. Number 1, the accused immediately brought to trial. Number 2, he should be kept in prison. Number 3, an ordered attachment be issued against his property to the amount of 1 million pesos as indemnity. Number 4, he should be defended in court by an army officer, not by civilian lawyer. Rizal chooses his defender. The only right given to Rizal by the Spanish authorities was to choose the defense counsel out 100% to him, trading of the information of charges to the accused on it. On December 11, the information was formally read to Rizal in his prison cell. He was accused of being the principal organizer in the living soul of the Filipino insurrection and the founder societies, periodicals, and books dedicated to fermenting in statement already made, except that he had taken no part in politics since exile in Dapitan. So Rizal manifesto to his Filipino on December 11. Rizal wrote a manifesto to his people appealing to them to stop necessary shedding of blood and to achieve their liberties by means of education and ancestry. Fortunately for Rizal, Judge Advocate General Nicolas de la Peña recommended to Admiral General Palavenyan that the manifesto be so suffraged. The later heeded recommendations of the Rizal's manifesto were not issued to the people. The Rizal was saved from the shame of his manifesto being misinterpreted and simulant for the Philippine armies in December 25, 18, his last on earth. So, this is the last of Rizal's to our country and to our earth. Was the saddest in Rizal's life, so malungkot na buhay para sa buhay niya. He was despaired, for he had no illusion about his fate. It was a dark and cheerless Christmas for Rizal, as he found himself alone in the freezing, dreary prison cell. Brooding over his hopeless case, he wrote a letter to Traveldi Andrade as follows: For Shanghai, December 2018, my very distinguished defender. The certification judge has informed me that tomorrow my case will be heard before the court. I was waiting for you this morning to tell you of an important matter, but undoubtedly, the pressure of your work did not permit you to come as expected by the inspecting judge. If you have time, I should like to speak to you before I fear the court. I shall be grateful if you come this afternoon, this evening, or tomorrow. Wishing you Merry Christmas, I reiterate, always your attentive and affectionate servant and client, Jose Rizal. Rizal sa this Christmas. The trial of Rizal was very elegant. troop of Spanish injustice and misrule. His case was free judge, he was cons. So this is my report in results exile trial in the chapter 24. Thank you po.